What's going on there, guys? My name is Matt, or Chewy, as most of you will know me as, and welcome back to another Microsoft Flight Simulator video. Today we find ourselves in the Austrian mountain ranges near Innsbruck, and today's video is all about weather. How absolutely terrifying is this? But how incredibly gorgeous does it all look? This is the thing that right from the very off, when I was first able to try Microsoft Flight Simulator back in September of 2019, this was the thing that really caught my eye the most and really gave me the wow factor, is the weather system in the simulator. It is second to none. So I've taken off out of Innsbruck today, and we're just doing a fly around, and I've selected some custom weather to show you guys just how scary it is to fly into a cell. And one thing that's amazing about Microsoft Flight Simulator that I've never seen in a simulator before is that you can really tell where the cells are. You can see the break in the clouds up above us there. And you can see that if I was to, position the aircraft to the left of us, which isn't a really great idea with the terrain, but you can start to see that the rain on the windshield here really starts to pick up quite dramatically, quite quickly. And this is great for VFR flying, because you're going to be able to tell exactly what areas of the sky to avoid at all costs. You can feel the wind starting to become more erratic as we move towards those cells. But you can also see a break, as I've said, that break in the clouds that we can see above us there. You can see the shadows of the clouds on the ground and where that lovely little bit of sunshine is, in the hope of trying to escape this absolute madness. I certainly would hope that I didn't have a very heavy lunch before going and flying in this kind of weather. And this is just the start of it. It can get so much more crazy from here. For example, let's move that coverage up on the custom weather now and make it even worse. And you can already see the reaction of the aircraft as it battles the elements. It truly is a wonder to behold. Let's go and have a look from an outside view, see how it looks. She's struggling all right. But look at the quality of the rain here and the sun just seeping through this little area of rain so that we can visualize it. Bring that coverage back now. There we go. So I'm manually manipulating the weather using the custom toolbar right now, just to give you guys a different idea as to how things look as we fly airborne. So now that I've removed that coverage a little bit, you can see that the rain has stopped on the windshield and the aircraft is a little bit more stable, but I think I've added a bit of a wind layer in as well, and obviously we're getting some turbulence coming up from the vegetation in the mountain around us, hence why it's a little bit wobbly. I tell you what I'll do is I'll just bring that wind back a tad, I think. See if that does anything. Wow, what an experience. It's absolutely terrifying. Okay, so I've removed all of the wind from the simulator just to kind of get things in calm condition when it comes to that, just to again give you more of an idea about the rain. That's something I really want to concentrate on. So you'll see now we can visualize that we are getting closer to a bad cell after just coming away from the sunshine there. You can see it right in front of your eyes. And the rain doesn't just suddenly appear on the windscreen, it gradually comes into effect. And so it is, completely obvious what areas of the sky you should be avoiding when you've got these kind of things in front of you. And as I've said before, it is terrifying, because especially when you start to get mixed up in these clouds, you've got no idea when you're going to be able to get out of it. And it really is a sense of relief when finally you burst through a nasty cell and it's sunshine again. I think the one word to use here really is immersion, isn't it? There we go. We can start to see just that little bit more sunlight ahead of us now. And hopefully the rain will start to calm down a little bit as we head towards it. We'll see. Maybe I'm being fooled. Maybe I'm being tricked. We've still got some nasty weather ahead of us. Anyway, After that little preview of us flying around, I thought I'd show you the custom toolbar menu where you can manually configure the weather to your heart's content. So what we'll do is I'll head back down on the ground into Innsbruck, and we'll stay static on the ground, and I'll show you some of the different presets and how easy it is to manipulate them. Okay, welcome back everybody. I've put us down on the runway here at Innsbruck. We're facing down the course of runway 26, and at the moment I've got the live weather preset selected. So if we go to the custom toolbar at the top of the screen, select weather, you'll see that we've got live weather on here. Now, in the early alpha stages, you actually couldn't change the time of day when you're in live weather mode. But luckily now, even if you do want to stay with live weather, you can, of course, manipulate that. And I think that's a really good first thing to look at. If I try and make this screen a little bit smaller, if it will allow me to do so, it's fine. I'll just move it off here. You can see just how easy it is to change the time of day. You can see the stars moving, start to see the beautiful colors in the sky. Look at all those different shades of purple and pink and red and now orange and yellow, and of course the blue sky as well. I feel like Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat describing all of these colors. But as I slowly move that across, of course, one thing that's really great about the time of day movements that you can change here is that it is not just dependent on one single factor. So if you change the date, we can't because we're in live weather mode, but if we wanted to change the date, that would manipulate where the stars are in the sky, that would manipulate where the sun and the moon are also as well. And of course, it would change the time of sunrise and sunset as well. So it really just adds to that level of immersion. Let's make it a little bit quicker as we move through. I know I haven't shown the sun on this yet, but I can change views in a moment and show that if needed. There it is, actually, as it comes over the top of the airport towards setting in the west. There we go. So sunset approaching now. You can see the shadows on the mountain ranges changing and some of those lovely colors that I described earlier on coming back into view as the night lighting at the airport turns on itself. This is what I like to call romantic mode. Yeah, sunset is romantic mode. And there we go, the stars back into view once again at the top of the screen. Just amazing. And all of this changeable in a split second with the click of a button. So let's switch away from the live weather mode. What I'll do is I'll just go through each preset one by one very quickly for you. And I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll just drag the screen or the custom menu off of the screen so you guys can see it in the simulator in full. So we've got the live weather here. The next option is clear skies, which does what it says on the tin. A beautiful sunny day at Innsbruck. We've then got the few clouds option. There is the scattered clouds option. The broken clouds option. Points in the chat or in the comment section for anybody who can distinguish the difference between scattered and broken clouds. High level clouds as well. You can see some cirrus clouds. Then there's overcast. And again, look at how that just changes the feel of the simulator now with all of the shadows cast across the mountain ranges. Rain. And I'll let you listen to the rain effects there as well. Snow. And you can see that come into effect. And if I have a look around in the sim, you'll be able to see the snow textures on the ground here. Something that a lot of people have been questioning. A lot of people have been asking about. Well, when you put snow in, does it change the season? What does it look like? Yes. You can indeed see that change in the simulator. Okay, any more after snow? There's storm for the final one as well. And hopefully, if I give it a second or so, you should be able to see some lightning effects appear. There you go. You can see the lightning. Hopefully you can hear a little bit of thunder as well. So those are the presets that come with the simulator. What I'll do now is I'll change our point of view so we can have a little bit of a different aspect, and we'll go and play around and customize those settings. Right, we've set ourselves up with a different view now, overlooking the entirety of the apron and airport area of Innsbruck. Again, on a side note, Innsbruck is, of course, one of the handcrafted airports that does come with Microsoft Flight Simulator in the standard edition, and it really does not disappoint. I'd love to go and have a look at this airport in another video sometimes before release if you guys would like to. At the moment, we've got the weather tab in the top right-hand corner here, and if we simply click the plus button, that will take us to all of the details. So at the moment, I've just loaded in the rain preset. One thing that I've already talked about that we can do is in here we can change the time of day if we really wanted to. So, I mean, if I move us a little bit further in the day here, you can see now that we've started to get these real sunset textures through at only about 1520 UTC. But as I flick through the months, we're not changing the time of day, remember? We're just changing the month. You can see that at the same time, the sun is in different positions in the sky. How cool is that? How cool is that? It really makes a big difference. And again, it's at the click of a button. So good to use. Let's move it back to a nice daytime setting. We'll move it back to... there we go, about midday or so. So we've got different settings that we can have a look at here. We can change the cloud layers if we want to. So we can move cloud layers up and down, and you'll see that will manipulate the bars over here on the right-hand side. And, it is, I know I keep saying it, but it is at the click of a button. If you want to move your clouds out the way, all you got to do is drag this sucker, and it will be out the way. There you go. And so you can change these cloud layers and move them around with this visual kind of table-style graph. Table-style graph, that doesn't make any England, Chewy, but you know what I mean. This visualizer. And if we really wanted to, we can bring that coverage all the way down, bring the top altitude in. Again, we can edit all of these if we really want to. Look at that. So you can play with the weather at your very heart's content. Not only can you do that with changing the altitudes of the different cloud layers, of course, you can change the coverage and the scatter at the top here. So if we really want to make it very heavy rain, or if we want to bring it right the way back to just a little bit of pitter-patter rain, we can change the scatter as well of that. So the further we move the scatter back, the more dense it becomes. And as we move it to the right-hand side of the bar there, you can see that there are more gaps in the sky. And again, we can visualize all of these, as I showed in that little gameplay footage earlier on, where you'll be able to see, exactly where the patches of lovely, nice weather are and where these nasty cells of rain are to avoid. Also, another thing that we can do is we can change the wind. So you can see now if I wanted to change the altitude of the wind, we can do so here. You can change the speed and the gust of that. If we wanted to make things a little bit interesting, 45 knot wind at Innsbruck, that would be hell on earth. You can change the frequency of things, and you'll be able to see that in a graph here. And you can change the speed in percentage as well. So you can do all of these types of things. I don't mess around with these too much, but you can do so. Obviously, you can change exactly where you want it to point from. So you point around the compass, and you can change the direction of that wind as well if you want to give yourself some challenging approaches maybe. You can and wind layers as well. So we can move this first wind layer out the way, and then we can select another one, and we can change the details on that. So if we would flick between the two wind layers, you can see, even though, well, let me change that round. There we go. Now you can see a better idea. And if you decide that you only want that one layer, you can delete it, and there we go, and it will go back to the one layer as is. So pretty cool stuff. And you can edit different things. So let's go to example for the storm one, and you can see that this completely changes things on the right hand side of the screen here for me. So we can tone the lightning all the way down if we don't want there to be any lightning, or if we really want to go for it and have 100% lightning, we can. You can change the temperature, the ISA, the QNH. You can change the altitude calculation, whether it's AGL or AMSL. Once again, you can change those cloud layers if you so want to. How terrifying are the sounds of that thunder as well. It is petrifying. Absolutely petrifying. And then, yes, if you do change the cloud layers around and you want to go back onto changing the precipitation and the lightning and things, all you need to do is click settings at the top here, and it will bring you straight back into this menu. So cool, isn't it? So cool. I think this would be amazing for some great montage videos where people can really go into, some crazy different weather presets that they've created themselves and show them in some sort of a video. I think that's one thing that's really going to be great about this sim. Snow is another one that a lot of people have asked me about, and have wanted to see exactly what snow looks like in the simulator. So here we go. You can see now that as soon as we select that snow preset, the apron at the airport is covered in snow. We've got all of the grass textures and some of the trees and things started to get a little bit coated with the snow. The houses here have got snow effects on them. One thing that I would like to maybe be looked at, which, you know, might already be in a later patch, but at the moment, if you try to manipulate the snow preset, you'll see that instantly it changes away from the snow, so there's no snow on the rooftops now or anything on the ground whatsoever. If I wanted to get back into that, I would have to select the snow feature again and then not touch it and just leave it as is. So hopefully that gets changed in time, and we'll start to see that, you know, implemented a little bit better, where you can really start to manipulate this snow custom preset. But there you go. Lots of people have been asking about seasons and you know, what sort of weather effects there are in the simulator, and there you are. I hope that was a good enough video for you all. A little bit of fun with flying through some cells earlier on, and then a quick look at the awesome sub menu for the weather manipulation that you can do in the simulator. If you've got any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. If you did like my preview of this section of the sim, please like the video, and of course, if you want to keep up with all the latest Microsoft Flight Simulator news and content, subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you so much for watching, guys. See you again soon.